Thank you, Teresa. We're going to ask Detective Michael Wheeler to come up and speak a little, and then we'll all talk, and then maybe there will be some answers. Maybe someone here has some answers. We're going to meet again in November and gather, and maybe by then people will have come up with some answers and some ideas for change, because it has to be more than just talk. Thank you.
My name is Mike Wheeler. I'm a detective sergeant with the Providence Police Department. I've been on the job 25 years, and I'm born and raised in the city of Providence. I'm from the West End. So when I talk to kids, I've spent almost my entire career working in our Youth Services Bureau. For almost 16 years, I worked in our gang unit. I was the director of that gang unit for about 7 years. Up until last August, I had gone to Ireland with two very good friends on the job. Glenn, one was your brother, and another friend of mine. And when I came back, we realized that there were going to be some changes to how the gang unit was run. I ran the gang unit as an intelligence-based unit. We were all about intelligence. I didn't base the gang unit on number of arrests, okay? Arrests are important on our job, and we can debate that all we want, okay? But there are times you have to make arrests. But that was not the sole purpose or focus of the gang unit. It was about intelligence. It was about why are you doing the things that you're doing, okay? Well, that was going to change. That was going to shift. The focus was going to go to arrests, numbers, because there were more shootings, because things started to increase. And so I had asked myself, is that what I wanted? And it isn't. It is not what I wanted. So for a full year, I had run the gang unit and I ran the school resource officers. I've been in the Youth Services Bureau working with juveniles for just under 19, about let's say 18 of my 25 years on the job. Okay, so the first 5 years I spent in uniform working out last, 11 at night to 7 in the morning. So I realized that was not going to fulfill what I wanted to do on this job. So working with kids is what I've always wanted to do and what I continue to do. So I gave up the gang unit. It is now in a separate part of the police department. It is run out of our detective bureau, and it is not run out of the Youth Services Bureau any longer. And I run our school resource officers. So the very first thing I was introduced to as the head of the school resource officers was this change in code of conduct. The City of Providence, the school department, is going to change their code of conduct. They're rewriting it. I was asked to represent the police department and sit on that board. The very first thing that they wanted to accomplish was an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding between the Providence Public School Department and the Providence Police Department, which was just signed last week. So it was signed by Colonel Clements and Superintendent Lucy. This MOU talks about the responsibilities of the school resource officer, but it also talks about the responsibility of the administration within a school building. The code of conduct that we are working on talks about the responsibility of the administration, the teachers, the students, the parents, everybody to try and improve how the school system works, how the schools run. We're in the process of meeting now with some of the principals to find out what ideas do you have, and this is going to address some of the concerns that you have. Obviously, some of the things you're doing, like I can look at it and say, sometimes arrests don't work. Smart enough to realize that. Arrests don't work. That's easy. Arresting people is easy because that's what we're taught to do. Working with kids and trying to change the attitude of where they go is where the challenge comes in. So we've brought in principals from all different buildings and said, tell me what it is that you see. What will make your building succeed? What will make your building thrive? What is it that you can propose? And one principal brought up something that I think is a very good idea. To those kids that are not succeeding within the daytime part of our school system, why not have them come in at night? Why not have them come in at 4 or 4:30? Instead of having them there that 6 to 8 hours or whatever they're in school, why not have them there for 2 hours? And why not have them there Monday through Friday, but 2 or 3 days a week? Instead of providing just curriculum, we're providing services. We're providing the skills that they need to go out into the workforce, teaching them how to apply for a job, how to dress for an interview. You'd be surprised how many kids don't even know how to dress for an interview. And I thought that was a great idea. So that's something that will be proposed, and hopefully that goes forward. But there are principals that are looking to make changes. There are teachers that are looking to make changes. So I think there is some positivity there, and hopefully they'll get to build on that. So again, I'm born and raised in the city of Providence. I love what I do. I don't deny that at all. And if you talk to me long enough, you'll realize that, what I do comes from my heart, okay? I happened to meet some of the folks from Everett when I was doing something with RICJ and the Colonel and some other folks. And it was a great day. It was a great program. I received a call, asked to go meet with them, asked to come here tonight. And I'm happy to be here tonight, okay? I was at a conference today, school safety conference, and we talked about some ideas for school safety. So I'll hit a little bit on the SROs, police officers in schools. That's a topic where we can talk about all night. Do they belong there? Do they not belong there? Should we arrest kids? Should we not arrest kids? Everyone will have their opinion. I personally think whatever your opinion is, you're entitled to, and that's fine. I can tell you that coming from my vantage point, when I took over the SROs, I thought we were making a large number of arrests. Me personally, that was just me, not the Providence Police Department, that's just Mike Wheeler. So I looked at the arrests that we were making. What do we make? Mostly they're what? What we call disorderly conduct. Why? 2 kids have a fight in school. Now, I'm not promoting fighting at all, okay? But 2 kids have a fight and they don't have a complaint against each other, yet the principal. And you have to keep in mind, most of the arrests that we make in schools are at the request of the principal or the assistant principal, okay? There are times I have to fight with them and say, no, you don't have enough here to lock this kid up. They haven't done anything. They've done nothing criminal. Yes, they yelled at you. Yes, they swore at you. Yes, your feelings got hurt. But guess what? You can't lock the kid up for that. So we started, what we were doing for a while was, because we were so busy, we would have parents bring their kids in, like turn them in to the police a couple of days after the incident took place to charge them. And I just think that's wrong. If I have to arrest somebody, we're arresting them when it happens. Unless it's something serious and they've taken off and I need to draw a warrant, if I can't arrest you right then and there, you're not getting arrested. And so we ended that. That knocked off about 70, 75 arrests a year. Do we still make, in the city of Providence, about 200 to 215 arrests in the school year? Now we're talking, how many buildings? 48? 48 school buildings. The conference I was at today, Coventry High School averages 60 arrests a year in one school. One high school. Never realized that, okay? They've made 60 arrests last year. So when I look at Providence, I go, all of a sudden, the numbers aren't that bad. But our job is to look and see, to make sure if we can even reduce those numbers more, that's our goal, okay? But I will not compromise safety. And people need to understand that. If there are kids that are bringing weapons to school, we can't have it. Sorry, we cannot have it. If there are kids that are making threats to do harm to other kids, then we need to deal with that. Maybe not just arrest, but maybe they need to be moved somewhere else. Maybe some other intervention needs to take place. But we need to address what is going on. A very sometimes unpopular statement that I will make all the time is that we really need to start holding parents a little bit more accountable for what their kids do. We need to be able to bring parents in and talk to them. We had a middle school kid yesterday. The kid was brought in, he had a knife in his pocket. It was a switchblade, about 5.5 inches, okay? So they called him up, not we, the school called him up. And the mother started swearing and yelling at the secretary and the assistant principal because she gave her son the knife and told him that if anybody bothered him, he could use it. So we need to address those issues. Those are things that need to be addressed. Those are the things that we're looking for. So in my years on this job, I will tell you right now, I have 0 regrets. I do the job I love. I can help kids at any moment. I've helped kids get jobs when they've gotten out of jail that I've locked them up for. When I was in the gang unit, I locked a kid up who did what we call a ride-by. He had a gun. He was on a bicycle. And not a car, not a drive-by, but a ride-by. He pulls up on his bike, takes the gun out, shoots a kid, puts the gun back, and then takes off. We grab that kid. I happen to know the kid's mom. I know his family. Talk to him. He turns over the gun to us. He goes to the training school. He does just about a year because he had some time hanging. And I'm in constant contact with his mother. The day he got out of the training school, he calls and says, hey, my mom says you can get me a job. And we did. We got him a job working over at Rhode Island Hospital. So the day he got out. I have SROs that I have one who was supposed to be here tonight, Officer Sean Brown, who does a fabulous job. This kid is just amazing. He works at Del Sesto, very busy middle school. Okay, very busy middle school. But he's a DJ. He runs a program and teaches kids how to be a DJ. Teaches kids what to do with music. I have an SRO that works up at Hope High School, who is a track coach for Rhode Island College. Every year when kids are trying out for the Hope track team, he's working with those kids. He's teaching them what to do, how to run, how to stretch, and the things that they can do to make themselves better, to succeed. I have an officer, I just moved from Hope to Juanita Sanchez, and he's very good with his hands. He can build anything. So what he does is during the summer or on Saturdays on his own time when kids have detention, he'll come into the school and they build something for the school, whether it's a trophy case, whether it's redoing bookcases or whatever. I have two of them are basketball coaches, and they help out. They work with PASA, they coach kids in basketball. So the things that SROs do, that the school resource officers do, go way beyond making arrests. That's the smallest part of what we do. They get no more money for making an arrest. We don't get anything else, okay? So they would love to go to school every day and do nothing. They're typical union city workers, I guess. But sometimes that doesn't hold true. So we will promote safety. We will work with every school that we're in and every school we're not in on fire drills, lockdowns, things like that. And we're gonna stay where we are. As long as I'm here, I will promote school resource officers. I will promote the relationship that we have built within those schools, and we will try to make the schools as safe as possible for your children. Thank you.